What's up, everyone? And welcome to the first episode of Mostly Football.
Mostly?
I'm
Mostly
your
football.
host,
I'm
Dylan
scared.
Busby. With me, I got my buddies, TJ, Whiskey, and Nate, the Dirty Bird. And this is Mostly Football.
I left my whiskey on the other table.
Sweet Jesus.
Guys, thank God I'm a little sick. It's helping my voice right now. This under the weather thing is not so bad.
It sucks. It
So,
absolutely sucks.
Don't drink
Four.
after a hangover.
If we have any dads in the house who may be wondering, but wait, I see these guys every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you separate the two shows? And I'll tell you why. We love sports so much. If we talked about sports as much as we're about to talk about sports right now, we would never talk about dad stuff. So we needed a whole new show to give you sports stuff. You guys excited about that?
Of course.
Totally. You can see it on my face.
Sports is not. There's nothing more exciting than sports.
Oh, yeah. So listen, today, I was listening to a podcast. They played an Eagles press conference from the Eagles GM, Howie, the Wizard Roseman, and second-year head coach, Nick Sirianni. And as I was telling Nate before the show, normally in these type of press conferences, you get an absolute nothing burger. You get a whole lot of words that mean a whole lot of nothing. Dylan Moran in the house. Thank you, sir. Mostly Football is my favorite podcast. Already, we are climbing up the charts. I love it. I did check both Apple Podcasts and Spotify because, as much as I love Bullhorn, as much as I love Castbox and all those other ones, Spotify and Apple Podcasts are the heavy hitters. So there was a Mostly Football podcast, but the last episode was in 2017.
Hey, that works for me.
So I feel pretty comfortable taking that one. So anyways, in this press conference, I was surprised to find out that Howie Roseman actually spilled some beans. Like, yeah, a couple things you had to read between the lines, but it really wasn't that hard, especially if you've been following the Eagles this offseason and have an idea for what they want to do. And then the head coach, Nick Sirianni, he said a few things as well that I was like, wow, a little bit of honesty there, no smoke screens. I like it. So we're going to be watching that Eagles press conference toward the end of the show. To open the show, a very interesting story, guys, that I showed you right before we started. This happened in the USFL, and I was pretty disappointed immediately because the Maulers, Pittsburgh Maulers, are my team this year, baby. Kyle Laletta, the Spider-Man, the former Richmond Spider, slinging the rock around. They're 0-1 right now, but, with stories like this, we
only in the USFL you get a story like this.
Okay, so let's get to the top here. From CBS, Pittsburgh Maulers USFL coach explains cutting player over pizza/chicken salad incident.
He's fired already.
for ordering the wrong damn food. Chicken salad is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're dead. That podcast is totally dead. We have revived it, taken it over. We are the zombie form of Mostly Football today. By Maulers, my Maulers, I know they were the darlings, and they. Okay, so they redeemed themselves. A few days ago, it was just they cut the guy over chicken. The story was initially they offered him chicken salad. He wanted pizza. He got cut. Now we're learning a little bit more that may reveal that there's a little bit more to the story. I don't think it's as simple as I wanted pizza, so they cut me. But anyways, let's play this video. This is former Michigan running back Davion Smith. I remember watching this guy at Michigan thinking, he had a little something. I thought maybe he'd kick around in the league for a little while, but he has already been in the AAFL and the XFL, so he's been playing football for sure. Now he's on the Maulers. Well, he's not on the Maulers anymore, but he was on the Maulers. And let's just go ahead and watch this video. It says right here from Gift Sports. Would you say gift or gift?
I
call
say
him
GIF.
Yeah, that's what I call him.
All right. We'll go with Gift Sports on Twitter. Bro got cut by a USFL team for ordering pizza instead of a chicken salad. Question mark, question mark, question mark. LMAOOOO. Let's watch this thing from the beginning. From the beginning. Let's give it some volume.
Well, he crossed the line. So we had to deal with it. This is very difficult for me as a head coach. It's my first time. But we have a business.
Who's the head coach?
Kirby.
Kirby Smith?
Yes, I think that's right.
Talk to you guys on March 22nd. I had a handbook. I covered some items that were very important to me. Line 46 addresses that. Any
Line 46. Everyone knows about Line 46.
Staff, USFL, hotel, etc. would not be tolerated. And it's been brought to my attention that has occurred with you. So unfortunately, hear me out. Unfortunately, cost of doing business, I'm going to have to let you go.
I didn't think I did anything or said anything disrespectful. I can tell you what happened exactly.
It's not important.
Right.
It's not important.
I don't know.
Right. What do you mean, right? It is important to you. Stand up for yourself.
I said yes. That's it. I walked away. I didn't think that was disrespectful. Me saying yes, I don't eat chicken salad. And I was like, is there another option? Walked in with pizza. And I was like, can I get a slice of pizza? He said no. I was like, he said, it's not going to be a problem. I said,
all right, I'm going to stop it right there. Who is walking in with a slice of pizza and just is like, oh, this pizza? No, we have chicken salad if you want to eat.
So basically he was told to eat chicken salad. He doesn't eat chicken salad, so he decided to go get a pizza.
Dude, there has to be more to the
story. That is I get it. At the end of the day, I get it. But there's got to be more to this story. There's no way you just cut a player because he didn't eat the right thing. There's just no way. It's just that's just you're trying to set a precedence over. I just can't. I can't get it.
Let's let the rest of this thing play out here.
Yes. That's all I said. I didn't say no cuss word.
By the way, he's a running back. Look how big he is.
My dad's life. I promise you I didn't say nothing disrespectful besides yes.
He's a smaller player in the NFL. He's not even in the NFL. Hey, good luck, man.
Hurt feelings are a distant second to the good of the team. And we've moved on and turned that page, and I'm happy we did it.
I mean, I get it, but
I can't mope about something. Just go home, work. I ain't no dumb dude, so I'll figure it out.
Sometimes you just gotta hop in that Chevy Blazer and
I'm gonna
find out what's next.
I'm gonna take a different approach to this. I'm kind of siding with Dylan Moran on this one. He's a grown ass man. If he wants a pizza, give him a fucking pizza. He's
Dylan
not
Moran.
5.
A lot of people didn't know this. Looks white, grew up on the other side of the tracks. He a grown fucking man. He can eat whatever the fuck he wants.
I don't. Me personally, I don't get it because I mean, when we were in football, a lot of our, especially our position coaches, they held us to a strict diet. Like we could only do so much, fast food here and there. Like we couldn't just eat. Like we were on a strict diet.
Okay, but you were in what grade?
I mean, fucking high school. But
okay, exactly. You weren't grown. You were still a kid in school. This is a grown ass man. That's like somebody coming to your house and saying, "No, you can't have that. Eat this instead."
Well, if I'm under contract and I'm being paid to play a fucking child's game, and I mean, technically, your ass belong to me as long as you're under this contract. So I get it, but at the end of the day, you as a player, you have to understand something. As a player, especially if you've been bounced around forever, like you didn't make it in the league. You've been into multiple minor leagues. You at some point got to realize you got to take responsibility for your own shit. And at the end of the day, if you got to say, all right, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I shouldn't have did that. That's on me. instead of making excuses and saying, well, I didn't say this. That's not the point. The point is this. The coach said everyone has to eat this. You don't eat chicken salad?
See, I don't even necessarily think that's what it was, though. Let's play it again. And toward the beginning, I think you get an idea that, like, I feel like he was probably having a more than a friendly altercation with this staff member.
So we had to deal with it. This is very difficult for me as a head coach. It's my first time. But we have a business. And this is business, and you're a businessman. We all are. Because that's our nature of the beast right now. But when I first talked to you guys on March 22nd, I had a handbook. I covered some items that were very important to me. Line 46.
Line 46.
Any disrespect of football or members, staff, USFL, hotel, etc., will not be tolerated.
Yeah, I feel like that right there is the emphasis. I feel like he was probably a little bit more disrespectful than he's letting on. And that
might be the issue. So he might have been a little bit more, because he's saying that he just, because I feel like if it would just been like a situation where he was just like, okay, cool type thing, like how he's making it seem, I don't think he got cut. I think it had to have been a little bit more. Whoever told him he couldn't have it, and it clearly wasn't the head coach. It probably was like a staff member or somebody in a hotel staff member or something. Yeah. And I think he probably got a little bit more disrespectful.
Yeah, listen, do you know who the F I am? I am Davion Smith, head running back for the Pittsburgh Maulers, dude.
Dylan Moran comes in. I get Nate's point of view. Unless he's out of shape and on a specific diet, sorry.
TJ, see, this is why I tried to save you from it.
I know.
You jumped in like a fighter. I like it.
I did. I chose violence today. Then it's shit. If he's working out and making weight, he should be fine.
Well, and that's the thing. See, that's the part we don't know. But and it might have been what got him cut might have been the interaction with whoever told him he couldn't have it.
Yeah,
that might be the reason why. I don't think you're gonna cut somebody for eating shit like that, because shit, people in the pros eat fucking. They eat worse than that. Shit, Chad Johnson ate McDonald's his entire career.
Thank you.
So I think from what it sounds like, from where the coach is coming from, it sounds like the interaction that happened was a little bit more disrespectful than what the player's letting on.
Now, I will say this. What y'all were talking about, there was probably more to the story. If you go back in that video, he says, was it line 46? No disrespect to hotel or coaching staff. I guarantee you at some point he was probably extremely disrespectful to somebody. And that's where the problem lies.
And that's what it feels like. Like that's where the vibe of the story is coming from. It feels like he was a little bit more disrespectful than he's letting on, because I don't think, and that's the thing, the coach wouldn't let him say. He was like, there's no point in you explaining your side. So apparently, whatever it was, it had to have been more than just the chicken sandwich or the chicken salad and the pizza.
I need to edit this banner.
Chicken salad or pizza.
I need to edit it. Yeah, it's not that easy.
So what are the teams? What is this? The USFL? I'm gonna have to look this up.
The USFL, it is I think it's like a 8-team or 10-team league right now. Apparently they were out back. It existed back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, somewhere like that. At one point it was an active league, and then it kind of went away, and now they're trying to bring it back, new and improved.
Yeah, I know my Maulers, they're down. They got lost in the old column. You got the wins and loss pulled up there, TJ?
No, I'm still trying to figure out the teams here.
You son of a gun. Actually,
well, I know who I'm not pulling for is any team out of Houston.
Not a gambler, huh?
He sounds like he's not a gambler.
It's funny you should say that, because I believe the Gamblers' head coach is your boy Kevin Sumlin, formerly of Texas A&M.
Not my coach.
Okay.
Not my coach.
I didn't like him when he was here, and I was glad when he left.
Fair enough. Well, boys, now that we moved on from that story, the controversial chicken salad or pizza. Oh, before we move on, do you think there is a case? Is there a case here for a hate crime? Let me explain.
I hate crime.
Isn't it just a little presumptuous to assume all the players on that squad are going to want chicken salad?
Hey, I like chicken salad.
You're not helping my case. Isn't it a little presumptuous to assume all of the players on that team are going to want chicken salad?
All right,
Hey.
Nate. Let me ask you this: do you prefer Dr. Pepper or grape soda?
Neither, actually.
Okay.
They both taste awful.
He likes grape drink. Duh.
I don't actually like grape drinking. But you know what? But you also got to think, this is the USFL. They're probably on a strict budget. So they probably don't have a lot of like free range like the fucking NFL has. So chicken
Dude.
salad was probably all they could get.
It looks like you're hanging out at the White House every day with all the McDonald's in there from the Trump era.
So I think I might have found me a team, but I want to do more research on their head coach because I don't
Okay,
know who this
TJ
name.
picks a team. I love it. We're gonna clip this.
For now, until I do more research on this entire USFL CBAG, I don't know.
Until I see who's about to win everything, and then I might change.
Tampa Bay Bandits sounds kind of cool.
There you go. That's a good pick.
Isn't it who's that? Who's their head coach?
Bart
Is
Haley.
from Pittsburgh? Who used
Haley.
to be
Yep.
Yeah, it was their offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Okay.
He was their coach. He coached the Chiefs during the Larry Johnson era. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah, I remember Larry Johnson.
Yep. Haley was their coach during that whole thing. And then now he's the coach. And Jordan Teamu, formerly of the Ole Miss Rebels, slinging the rock for them, looks pretty good. I think Tampa Bay has a good shot from what they showed week 1. But you know what was really crazy? Go ahead, TJ.
I was just going to say the only reason I'm picking Tampa Bay is because I love the name Bandits. And it's the same state that Tom Brady is playing football in. So why not?
Oh, I love anytime a league like this starts up because all of the major leagues have already grabbed the best names. So now you get to see like what the shittiest names are left and what the like going to minor league baseball games is one of my favorite things just to see all the stupid names that are out there, like the River Rats, the Swamp Bats, all that stuff.
But
Frisco Rough Riders. Rough Riders.
The fucked up thing is that these teams have have better names than the Washington Commanders.
Yes.
I am disappointed though. I am a big fan of Dragons. My high school name was the South Lake Carroll Dragons, and nobody picked a dragon.
Bandits were my second option. I love Jordan T. I loved him in Mexico, but I
couldn't pick
Tampa T. The funny thing is that everybody in the North lost. The entire South Division won. So everybody in the South is 1-0. Everybody in the North is 0-1.
Say what you said about the teams and the Commanders again.
What?
Say that thing you said about the USFL teams and the Commanders again.
Every team has a better name than the damn Commanders. Like, I don't understand it. Like, how do you not? You had an entire year. Fuck it, you had 2 years. What do you do? You had 2 whole years to come up with a name, and you came up with the Commanders.
Preach.
That was the name. That's the name you came up with.
We need some church preach music for when Nate goes on a rant.
There's teams like Tampa Bay Bandits, the New Orleans Breakers, Houston Gamblers, the Birmingham Stallions. You have New Jersey Generals, Michigan Panthers, Philadelphia Stars, and Pittsburgh Maulers. And you are a multi-billion-dollar franchise. And the best you could come up with, your first name was football team. You said, let's settle on the Commanders. You should just go ahead and they need to go to the USFL or the XFL because honestly, at this point, between their stupid name and the legal, whatever legal issues they got going on, they won't be a franchise for much longer. I really feel like that.
Dylan Moran says he prefers football team over Commanders. And see, when they were called the football team, I called them the football Joe Bucks.
I feel like the football team was better than the Commanders. Like I saw there was a couple like before they even came with the football team. I saw like the was the Washington Red Wolves, and then there was a couple. I'm like, those are cool names. You fucking seriously get paid all this money, and y'all came on football team first, and then let's go with the Commanders. So that's what we're gonna do.
That was a big problem. Like the Red Wolves, there was this one lawyer in the Washington area who patented all those names when they were like considering a name change. So they would have had to pay this guy a shitload of money to get any of the names they were thinking of. So it was genius on his part. But yeah, I guess
then keep the shit close to the keep it close to the vest or something. Like you could have came up with. It's like the Atlanta. What are they now? The Sentinels or something? What are they? They're no longer the Braves because they fell to the peer pressure and changed their names. What are they?
Cleveland changed to the Guardians. I didn't hear.
Oh no, Cleveland. I'm sorry, Cleveland, the Guardians. Yes. Yeah. Why? Okay.
I still like the Cleveland Caucasians.
The fucking Guardians. Really, that's your name? Well, I don't understand. You get paid. There's got to be some department in your franchise where I need y'all to come up with a fucking name, a cool one at that.
And I mean, with Cleveland in particular, from what I understand, they were only named the Indians because of a player that was on the team who they thought was awesome, and he was like of Native American descent. So they named the team essentially after him. From what I read, I mean, I guess that could be wrong, but it wasn't a racist thing.
Guardians had to do with the statues on their bridge. What?
Yeah, they could have been the Cleveland Gargoyles. That would have been pretty cool.
Something. There's so many things you could have come up with. It's just like these friends. They just like they don't care. Like I personally, I couldn't. If Washington was my team, I'd be finding a new team. There's no way in hell I'm cheering for the Commanders. There's just no way at all.
Dude, if War Machine wasn't taken and they didn't choose Washington War Machine, I mean, they really missed out.
They missed out on a lot of things.
I might have been a Washington fan had they done that.
Right? Maybe Marvel has a trademark on that. Who knows?
You could have figured out some shit. You could Google some shit, and you could have figured out something other than that.
Dude, they could have been the Washington lobbyists. Hello. It's right there. So
there's another. You could have found another bird of prey to become, or one of the big cats. Something. There was something you could have done besides Commanders. You're already the ass of your division. Now your name's going to help it. It's just going to make it even worse.
I don't see why they didn't go with like the Washington Red Dragons.
There were so many.
I'm sorry, not Red. Grand Dragons.
They could have went with so many other things.
No, I see where you went with that one.
No, okay.
I see where you went with that one. Maybe the Grand Cyclops.
No? There you go.
I'm sure that would have been a tad more offensive.
But Birds of Prey, I mean, the Washington Osprey.
They could have figured out something. They could have figured out something.
How about birds that don't take flight? So I don't know, the Washington Penguins.
Hey, there's a hockey team that's named after Penguins, so why not?
And don't give me the whole not geographically correct thing because there's no Penguins in Pittsburgh, so F off.
So I don't know. Me personally, I just feel like you got to do better. You got to do better.
You got to do way better, but luckily it matches the brand that is the Washington football brand. This is a franchise that is so awful, they could get a Hall of Fame head coach to lose his job because of emails that they are responsible for.
And he didn't even play coach for them.
He didn't even coach for them.
He wouldn't even coach it. They're that bad. You can get somebody else's coach fired.
They are the opposite of Midas. Everything they touch turns to shit.
Shit, they might have. What's his name? Dan Snyder might have to sell the team at this point. All the legal shit he got going on, he might well just say, you know what? Fuck it. We just gonna sell the team.
Maybe Snyder's got more money than. What's up, TJ? You're thinking something there.
I am. Remind me again. Ron Rivera, isn't he the head coach?
Yes,
He
he is.
is.
I feel bad for
Okay.
that man.
You know what? I do too. And I've always kind of been a Rivera fan. This guy, and it pisses me off. And this is not a shtick. This is not something to be funny about. I'm dead serious. This guy was fighting cancer, was getting treatments, and was still coaching this team. And he did not win head coach of the year. How? I don't know if it was last season or season before last. It was
It was
one of the
last
two.
season. The
Yeah,
reason why, because they're at the end of the day, win totals mean everything. It's just what it is. Win totals mean everything.
See,
So
I disagree with that because if you have somebody who is fighting cancer and lives to tell the tale and they're still
and
coaching
they
a
actually made
football
the
team,
playoffs that year. I think they made the playoffs the last 2 years.
I don't think Washington made the playoffs last year.
No, they did. They made a year before. Yeah, they made a year before and a year before that one.
I
Was it?
think
Because they won. They made it the year Tampa made it to the Super Bowl.
yes, Heineke did play Tampa. That was a great game. Yep.
And I think they just made it the year after. Not 100% sure. But at the same time, again, win totals matter. If you got a shit record and your coach is playing and coaching his ass off, it doesn't matter. They're gonna give it to the coach who obviously has the they're gonna give it to the coach with the worst team but the best record, basically.
Yeah. Some say that Ron Rivera had defeated cancer until they traded for Carson Wentz.
Wait, I forgot they traded for Carson.
I would never say that.
I thought Green Bay franchise was bad. This fucking franchise is a dumpster fire.
This franchise is awful.
There's a fucking dumpster fire. I thought Green Bay, just listening to the shit that's going on in Green Bay, I was like, this is a shit franchise. They are a terrible franchise. What the hell made you think, maybe we should trade for Carson Wentz? Like, nothing about last year. The only thing that saved Carson Wentz was Jonathan Taylor. That's it. Jonathan Taylor was the only thing that saved him.
Dude,
What's out of pocket?
I'm probably my cancer. Maybe my cancer statement. It might have been it. Dude, you could roll through the list of quarterbacks like since Doug Williams, and it's just been an absolute shit show.
Dumpster fire. They suck at they can't. You know what? Cleveland had the same issue until they found Baker. No, they got Deshaun Watson now. So
until they found Baker, I think they're still having that issue.
Baker's a shit show.
Yeah, until they found Baker.
Baker Mayfield he's a sober Johnny Manziel. That's it.
He is a Johnny Manziel. I'm not going to
sober Johnny Manziel. That's all he is.
I'm not going to guarantee. So
he was a hot shot in college. He had all the attention in college before he got into the pros. Then he gets into the pros and he's a dumpster fire. Terrible. He wins a couple games. They're up. Because I heard one of his interviews. He was like, "Well, you have bad seasons. Granted, it's not his fault. Cleveland's not the greatest franchise. He's been through a couple offensive coordinators, a couple head coaches. Freddie Kitchens was a fucking idiot. So
they do have one of the best running backs in the league. Not the best, but one of the best in Chubbs. I will be a Chubbs fan from now until he either does something stupid or exits the league.
He's a Georgia boy, so I'm a big fan of Nick Chubb.
And I love the name Chubb. So.
Yeah, I don't think he wouldn't even be on the Browns if he did something like kick a girl while she was down or something like that. They don't even sign players like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that's why he's on that team, ain't he? They were supposed to be the best tandem in the league, and they haven't lived up to that. Obviously, Nick Chubb is the better back, but Kareem Hunt is not. I'm going to put you like this: Patrick Mahomes made Kareem Hunt.
I don't think so. I think they're both very talented backs. I think that the line is pretty good in Cleveland. I just think
I think in 1 year they were rated the best offensive line in the league.
Yeah. I think Watson's going to make a huge difference. He can do things that Mayfield just.
I'm trying to figure out how do you handle that? How would you handle that situation, Dylan? You got Baker, who was the number. You drafted him first round, and now he's been there what 4 or 5 years so far, or 4 years, and then you're like, hey, fuck this guy, let's go get Deshaun Watson, and now we have this guy. So what do you do? How do you handle the situation?
First of all, I'm calling every spa in the area, and I'm telling them, do not call my boy. He is getting massages in the team facility only. Only.
Dude, like, so I mean, I don't. How would you handle this situation? I feel like Cleveland decided to say, they basically told Baker like, "Hey, we're not going to trade you, but we don't want you."
Yeah, that's the only thing at this point is what are you going to be heartbroken if you don't get anything for Baker? Basically, are you willing to cut him? Is the question right now. Like, is a team even willing, or would you take a 7th rounder for Baker?
As much as you've given up for Deshaun Watson, you better get something for Baker, because if you let Baker walk and you don't get nothing out of the deal, you lose.
That's fair, but if nobody wants him, then I mean, you're kind of just stuck with him.
Nobody wants Baker. There's not Baker. If you go back to the AFC Championship when they played the Chiefs, that was the game Baker should have been like, okay, this shit's mine, because they were up most of the game until the fourth quarter, and then Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does, and then Baker couldn't keep up. At best, Baker's going to be, I mean, he can go. I mean, you got the Panthers. Don't be fooled. Teams want Baker, but they know the Browns will drop him eventually. They're just waiting. I mean, honestly, the Panthers could use him. The Giants definitely could use him.
Whoa. Back up. The Panthers.
Yeah.
It's coming from a guy who thinks Cam Newton's better than Tom Brady.
Cam's in trouble right now. He's sitting in some hot water. He said some misogynistic stuff, and he's sitting in hot water right now. He's sitting in some hot water.
Just when you thought Cam learned his lesson, he didn't.
Went open his mouth.
He didn't.
Cam's gonna end up being the new Colin Kaepernick.
Nah. See, now you're going a little too far.
No, I'm not.
Colin Kaepernick. Here's the thing. Okay, so the year Colin Kaepernick started, when he got in, nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew what he could do. He had 2 good years. He had the Super Bowl year and then the year after, and then everything after that was shit. Once they figured out, once they figure you out, like, look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's going to have to learn how to throw the ball, because people are going to figure you out, and they're going to figure out a way to play you, and it's happening already. So with Colin Kaepernick, that's what happened. Teams learn to adjust to his play style. Like, you're gonna have 2 options. We're gonna let you run. You can run all day. We'll let you run, but we're not gonna let you throw this ball.
Let's go ahead and let's bring up what Cam said here.
Cam. He said something about women and being quiet and cook. Yeah, here it goes.
First of all, I mean, just look at him.
Oh God.
Yeah, he said some things that shouldn't have been said, and he's in a lot of heat right now.
Let's see what our boy had to say.
I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents have been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch. Okay, what's the difference? A woman. Okay. A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part. Okay. And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say bitches in a way not to.
So far, I smell the life.
He's already in hot water with that.
But just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs.
Is he wrong?
No, he's not wrong at all. I never said he was wrong in what he said.
And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Facts.
Oh, Nate loves this guy.
Facts.
Oh my God.
Nothing. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Nothing he said was wrong. None of it. Nothing. If you really think about the women nowadays compared to the women back in, I don't know, let's say 50s and 60s when marriage was a big thing. Nothing he said was wrong. What, TJ? What do you got to say?
To all of our fans, listeners, people that are going to hear this podcast, this is the part of the podcast where you find out Nate hates women.
That's my favorite part of the podcast.
Nate does not hate women. The biggest thing is this: nothing he said was wrong. Nothing, because if you think about, for those who have parents who've been together 20, 30, 40 plus years and longer, you understand what having a woman, you understand what a real woman is. You know, she's not one of those women who's out every week in the 1930s.
Nate, I already disagree with you.
Let me explain to you what Cam was saying. This is what Cam was saying. Cam was saying that when you have a woman who's saying, I'm a bad this, I'm a bad that, I handle my own this, and that, and you can't cook, that's a problem for me. Right? You want a traditional man. You want a man who's going to provide for you. You want a man that's going to protect you. You want a man that's going to do everything that a man and a husband is supposed to do. Right? Yes or no? That's what women want, right? That's what women want, right? Correct? Yes or no? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
All right. So why is it when a man says, yeah, I don't mind having a woman who works, I don't mind having a woman who has a career, but at the same time, I want a woman who knows how to take care of a household. I want a woman who can cook. I want a woman who can clean. Not saying that that's her role, but what it's saying is that she should know how to do those things. She should know how to cook something other than fucking minute rice and fucking macaroni and cheese. Okay.
What's wrong with minute rice and mac and cheese?
She should know how to do more than that. She should know how to. She should have those traits, is what he was saying. And the problem is, these women now, they are so fucking sensitive. Like, oh, he's the. No, what he's saying is true. If you look at TikTok, there's a lot of women that are agreeing with a lot of men they believe that women are so far gone from what a traditional woman should be that it's insane.
Well, if it's on TikTok, it's got to be true.
And it's not just that.
That's on line 46.
If you're telling me as a man that your time is more valuable than mine to the point where I have to pay just to spend time with you, go fuck yourself. Period. What he's saying is not wrong. And the thing is that people are so afraid of saying the truth that when the truth is actually said, people just cower and they're like, oh, that's not right. What he said is not wrong. Because if you ask a woman what she wants out of a man, she's going to say the exact same thing he is saying, but for a man. And every female on this earth is going to praise her for saying it. He is saying what every man is thinking, but is scared to say. So what he said isn't wrong. It's just women don't like hearing the truth.
When you refer to women as bitches instead of women, that's wrong. I will never refer.
See, here's the problem I have with that. That's like saying, for me personally, have you ever heard me use the N-word around you, TJ? As long as you've been knowing me, have you ever heard the N-word come out of my mouth? When?
Crawfish boil, your dad's house.
My dad's house.
Oh,
Okay. But have you ever heard me refer to myself as that?
at the crawfish? Was that on a
No.
Sunday?
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on a Sunday.
It
Oh
was
my
Saturday. It was
God.
Saturday. It was Saturday. But have you
N-word
ever
on a
heard,
Sunday.
have you ever heard me refer to myself as that?
No,
You've never heard me refer to myself as that.
no.
So when a woman says, "Well, that's the," if you refer to yourself as such, I'm going to refer to you as such. You present yourself the way you want to be presented. You present yourself the way you want someone to approach you.
And
Right?
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say, TJ. Something that you and I may not be as hip to, but from what I hear in the black community.
All right. So, I think Dylan kind of got.
Hang on. Let me get this point in here. Nate, correct me if I'm wrong. From what I understand, in the black community, men amongst the men will often refer to women as bitches, while on the other side of that, women will often refer to the men as N-words. This N-word thinks he's this. This N-word tried to call me this. So is that wrong? I mean, there seems like there's a vernacular for each sex on that one.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
I don't think it's necessarily like, yeah, of course it sounds disrespectful, but it just happens to be how a certain sect of a certain culture refers
to one another.
Like, we may not agree with it.
And so let me address Dylan really quick. So, because this is kind of one of the issues I kind of have. So
this is why it's called mostly football, by the way.
This is the problem I have with some men in this country is when a man says that women should know how to cook. Women should know how to cook. They're not saying that their only place is in the kitchen. What he's saying is women want traditional men. Women want a man that can provide for them. Women want a man that's going to protect them. Women want a man that she can raise a family with. But when a man says, I want a woman I can raise a family with, it's an issue. It's a problem. She should know how to cook. You're damn right she should know how to cook. And if she don't, she damn well better learn. I'm not saying that she needs to be in the kitchen, but at some point, she should know how to cook. Period. There's nothing wrong with having a woman that knows how to cook. There's nothing wrong with that. But when a man says that it's sexist, it's misogynistic. No, it's not. She can have a career, but I want to be able to raise a family with her. I don't want her going out every fucking weekend shaking her ass in the club. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Do I want to go out with her occasionally? Sure. But the fact that you're talking about the women nowadays, the Instagram models, they are role models. Cardi B's a role model. So when you have shit like this, when a man says something, everybody jumps on, oh my God, he's wrong. He shouldn't say that. Why not? Why not? Why can't I say that? Why can't I say, I want a woman who knows how to cook? I want a woman who knows how to clean. I want a woman who knows how to take care of a home. That's not saying that that's her only place. She can have a career. But at the same time, if we're going to be together, we need to know how to do these things. So she should know how to clean. She should know how to cook. As do I should know how to clean. I should know how to cook. There's nothing wrong with saying that. But there's men in this country who get so uptight and they're so afraid to say the truth that when the truth does comes out, they get nauseous. They get pent up. They get like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. I'm going to fucking say it.
Just say his name. It's Dylan Moran. He's sitting right there.
No, I'm not going to say it. It's really, there's a lot of men in this country that believe that you shouldn't say that about women. So it's okay for a woman to say, I want a traditional man, but when a man says, I want a traditional woman, it's a problem. I'm not saying she needs to, her place is in the kitchen, her place is in the house. She can have a career. Fuck, she can make more money than me. I don't care. But at the same time, she should have those traits that your mom had, that your grandmother had, that her mom has, that her grandma has. Like, those are the traits that men want in women. They don't want fucking club hoppers. They don't want strippers. They don't want Instagram. I don't want my girlfriend posting half naked ass pictures all over the internet for every guy to see. I don't want that. That's not sexually liberating. That's you being, that's prostitution. You're selling your nudes online. It's prostitution. Let's call it for what it is. But when a man says that, everybody's like, oh, he's sexist. He's misogynistic. He's this. No, he's not. He's telling the truth. He's saying what a lot of real men want, period. Because no man is going to want to say, let me get this stripper pregnant. There are men that have got strippers pregnant, and guess what? Their life is fucking shit. Your life gets ruined. You want someone who's going to have the same values as you. That's what you want. You don't want, like, I heard there was a guy that's on TikTok. He said this. He stitched somebody's video, and she said, "Where are the real men at?" And his response was this: "You go to where you want this man. You do what you want him to do. So if you want a guy that reads books, where do you go? Go to Barnes and Nobles, or you go to a library. If you want a man that plays guitar or he hikes, what are you going to do? You want to do activities that he is doing. You're going to find someone. But if you constantly go to the clubs, you're going to find fuckboys. The fuckboy factory. Clubs is fuckboy factories. It's just what it is. You want a church-loving man? Where do you go to find those? Go to church. It's simple. It's basic common knowledge. But people are so afraid of the truth nowadays, like TJ, because he's uncomfortable right now. There's so many people that are afraid of the truth that they're just like, they don't want to talk about it. It's like slavery and racism. When that shit pops up, people get uncomfortable. Nobody wants to talk about it. But let's talk about it, because if you start that conversation, then the real truth, then we can really have a conversation.
So what if they go to the club on Saturday night and then go to church on Sunday morning?
You don't want those. Those are fuckboys. Period.
I was talking about the women, not the men.
You don't want them. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't mind if you have a girls' night. It's cool. If you want to have a girls' night, that's cool. But if you're constantly having girls' nights every weekend, you're constantly going to clubs, you're constantly doing that. That's a problem for me. It's such a problem for me. What are you saying? You doing a lot of assuming. I'm a lot of assuming. You blame women on everything in this argument. Misogyny 101. I haven't blamed women for anything.
Here's what
I never blamed women. I never said women are at fault for anything. What I said is when a man asks for something, he gets called misogynistic because that's what he wants. He wants a traditional woman.
What's up, Jerry?
So I don't see how that's blaming women, because when you want something,
Hi, Jerry.
If I want something, can I not have it?
Well, let's put
it be something you don't want also, but don't get to say that's what all women should be. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's what men want. Men want traditional women. They don't. There's majority of the women nowadays are Instagram models.
Let me stop you right there. That's going back to what he was saying. That's a lot of assuming. You're saying all men want this. It's clearly Dylan Moran does not want this. So stop putting it on Dylan Moran.
Okay. So all right. Well, most of the guys that I know, that's what they want.
Here's what I'll say. Here's where you're right. I feel like 99% of the time, if you're with your girl and you get a flat tire and you don't know how to change it, she's going to feel a certain way about it.
Everybody going to feel some type of way about it.
If you flip-flop that to the cooking thing, that's where at least it makes sense. You could, as a man, you would think, can't cook, huh? Interesting. Just as a girl would think, can't change a tire, huh? Interesting. So I feel like that's not crazy to throw out there. At the same time, he's not wrong. You are assuming a lot of things, that all men want this, that all women do that. So there's someone out there for everybody. There's clearly someone out there for Cam Newton. and I would love for that person to finally come in the mix.
My
And,
point wasn't to say
feel
that.
his closet.
My point was to say this. What Cam said wasn't wrong. It was the truth.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what it is. When the truth comes out, it's painful. Nobody really wants to hear the truth. Nobody really wants to be told what they need to hear. Everybody wants to be told what they want to hear. What's going
TJ,
to coddle them.
final thought.
Cam Newton sucks, and he shouldn't be in the NFL.
Let's move on to this story here. This just happened today. Deebo Samuel has requested a trade. The 49ers offered him a deal. The two sides remain far apart. Maybe over $6 million apart. In fact, Tony Pauline of Pro Football Network reports Deebo's looking for something in the range of $25 million. Would not even make him the highest paid receiver in the league. Tyreek Hill gets $30 million a year, but could catapult him to the top 4. Deebo just finished this past season with 1,770 all-purpose yards, 14 total touchdowns. His first season surpassing 1,000 receiving yards. Guys, he had 59 attempts as a wide receiver. That's a lot. Apparently, that's a big part of this. He doesn't want to be given so many attempts anymore. He stopped. He doesn't want to be a running back. He wants to be a wide receiver, which is very interesting. I'll say this before I kick it to you guys. If I was to judge Deebo Samuel on being a wide receiver alone, he wouldn't be in the conversation of top 10 probably for me. I feel like I could name 10 guys, pure receivers that I would take before him. But how effective he was as a running back, I totally understand where he's coming from. He signed up to play against Jalen Ramsey. He did not sign up to play against Aaron Donald. So I get that part of it. On the other hand, that's what made him so effective this year, and that's what got him recognized as one of the best players on the field. So, TJ, we'll start with you since you said so much the last time. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like the Niners are going to end up trading him? If you did and you're the 49ers, what is the least you would take for him?
Okay, well, let me stop you right there because anybody that knows me knows I don't keep up with the NFL. So I'm out of my element on this one. I'm not going to say something stupid, something radical. You either do the job that you were paid to do or you get the hell out of here.
Okay. So do you feel like he is right for asking for more money since he did more than a receiver is asked to do, or should he just, take the pill and get paid?
Get paid and shut up.
There you go.
You're getting paid to play a child's game. Plain and simple.
There you go. Nate?
So, the issue with this is the 1,770 all-purpose yards, the 59 attempts as a running back. Those are the issues. That's the problem. As a receiver, I get it. And you know what the biggest problem was? Is Cordero Patterson. That's what started all this. Because Cordero Patterson couldn't find his niche in the NFL. He bounced from team to team, and then he got with the Falcons, and they used him like a Swiss Army knife. Receiver, running back. And the issue with Deebo, and you're right, I agree with you, he's not top 10. He's maybe 15. Maybe 15. That's a big maybe.
And a big part of that just because he hasn't played a full season yet.
Exactly. Injuries. And remember, he also got plagued with injuries this year. He had the groin injury. He had a couple leg injuries. So now some of that could have been the workload because you're right. He is not getting – he shouldn't be – I didn't get drafted to go up against Aaron Donald and other big defensive tackles that I got to deal with, plus the linebackers. I didn't get paid. I didn't get drafted for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to – in the NFL is one of those situations you get in where you fit in. And as a wideout, at best, he's a slot at best. He's a slot. I wouldn't make him a number one, nor would I make him a number 2. He's a slot at best. He's not going to get traded. He's going to have to take what two things are going to happen. Either he's going to take what the Niners are giving him, or he's going to have to sit out the season because they're not going to pay. I'm not paying that top dollar for a receiver, and you play running back. He's honestly he's a better running back than he is a receiver.
So if you're the Niners, I mean, are you taking anything less than a first round? Like, are you considering a second round?
And that's the thing. They want to overhaul for him. They want the King's ransom for him because of what he did last year. And that's the problem. Because of what he did last season, he's valuable to teams.
And that's the irony of the whole thing. Like, any team that trades for him now knows what he can do as a running back, and they're going to want to use him the same way.
And everybody saw, again, like I said, it started with Cordero Patterson. When everyone started seeing how successful he was, and then Deebo started doing the same thing, everyone's like, okay, we could use a guy like that.
Yep.
The Niners know he's not valuable to the Niners. They know that. They 100% know that if they didn't, this wouldn't be an issue. The Niners, he's not valuable to the Niners. The thing is, the Niners know how valuable he is to every other team in the league. So now we control the narrative. You either give us this or you get nothing. He wants to play next year. Guess what? You can sit. That's fine. Sit next year. That's going to devalue you. Because when free agency starts and you don't play a snap or you play half the season and you get hurt again like you did last year, guess what? Your value goes down in free agency. The Niners aren't stupid. They're not dumb. They know exactly what they're doing. He won't come close to what Tyreek or AJ Brown is asking for.
Right, and they know they need a veteran because I imagine they want to start Trey Lance this year. You know, I don't think they want to go back to Jimmy. So you got that young quarterback in there who needs a veteran who can hand the ball off, you know, because Elijah Mitchell gets banged up. All the running backs get banged up. Even Deebo gets banged up, but you can't go into the season and say, okay, Brandon Ayuk is the number one and we'll see what happens. So that's going to be pretty interesting to watch. TJ, the NFC West consists of the Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, and Seahawks. If you were to look in your crystal ball right now, by the end of next season, where do you think they rank?
Who, the 49ers?
All of those teams, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks, top to bottom.
Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and 49ers.
Wow. Okay. The guy's got a little. Now, you're remembering that Russell Wilson is no longer in Seattle, right?
Well, no, I'm naming off the team, so I.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
I'm going to say. Give me the Rams. Give me the 49ers. Cardinals. Seahawks.
I'm going to have to agree with that.
Yeah.
The reason why is this. The reason why I agree, obviously, the Rams are the defending champions, obviously.
Yep.
They just signed Stephon Gilmore. They got Aaron Donald back, and I think OBJ is supposed to come back. So you have a stacked roster there.
Jesus.
The Niners, I'm going to say the Niners just based off of they kind of have their roster set. So they kind of like settled in, and I think they're kind of set right now as far as roster and continuity goes. The Cardinals are dumpster fire. They're straight goddamn dumpster fire right now.
It's not looking
Between
good.
the rumors of Kyler being traded, Kyler coming out and he took all his stuff off of Instagram and put it back up, and him having to defend that the trade rumors and this and that. They're a goddamn dumpster fire. They re-signed AJ Green, who obviously I think at this point it's time for him to move on. DeAndre Hopkins is going to do DeAndre Hopkins things. Their backs are okay. The defense is a little shaky. Just based off their performance last year, the only reason why I'm putting them above the Seahawks is because of what the Seahawks did. trading Russell Wilson was probably not the smartest thing to do.
And they have Moses that is their head coach.
True. And who did they get to replace him? Oh, they got what's the kid's name? Ah, shit, I can't remember his kid's name. They traded so Denver got Russell.
They got
and
Drew
then
Lock back.
That's this name. They got fucking Drew Lock. So the Seahawks at best probably win 4 games. At
Yeah.
best 4 games. And that's me being generous.
I think you guys are right. I would flip-flop, this quarterback thing with the 49ers makes it real tough. Like, if I knew Jimmy G was a starter going in, I would definitely I don't even know about definitely. I would probably put the Niners over the Cardinals, but it's up in the air. It certainly is up in the air.
I can't put the Niners. I couldn't put the Cardinals over the Niners is because we don't know how Kyler's going to be mentally coming into the season. And B, dude, come on, we saw what happened last year. Dude, they were the top team and then they just fizzled and then got their asses handed to them by the Rams.
And then, real quick, before we get to this last video, I know there's going to be Cowboys fans out there that are going to say next year is their year.
Please stop.
I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan because I'm from Dallas. Shut up. No, it's not. We'll win 9-10 games. We'll make the playoffs, and we'll be out in the first round like we are every single year.
Dude, so somebody asked me, they was like, "Why are you a Falcons fan?" And I was like, and it's like, you come into the year every year expecting nothing, and that's true. As lately, since the Super Bowl, I've come into every season expecting Nathan. But I asked you, why are you a Cowboys fan? The worst part about being a Cowboys fan is your team comes in every year favored to win a Super Bowl. They play great all goddamn regular season. The moment they get into the home field advantage, they forget how to play fucking football and lose.
Look, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I might watch 4 games a year. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, and I don't even watch basketball. I'm a Dallas Stars fan, and I think I might watch 2 hockey games a year, if that. I am from Dallas, therefore I root for the home team.
Yeah, listen, nobody thinks it's their year more than a Dallas Cowboys fan. Every year is your year when you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Excluding me, because I know.
Every year is your year.
And until Jerry Jones is 6 feet under and that team is sold to another family, it'll continue to be a dumpster fire.
And that's the fuck. They purposely. And Steve, you know what? As much as I disagree with Stephen A couple of times, he calls it every year. Every year, he's like, it's fine. Just wait till December. Wait till January. They're gonna let you down, and it never fucking fails. For the last 10 years, he has never been wrong.
And I mean, the fact that Skip plays the burned Cowboys fan so well, God, he plays that role so well.
Skip fucking Bayless is a fucking Jesus Christ, dude. You at some point, something's gotta give.
And I'll say this: we're about to watch this Eagles press conference with GM Howie Roseman and head coach Nick Sirianni. If you were, what the hell's going on over there? Is it a restaurant?
Yeah, apparently we don't know how to get ice quietly in the house.
Dude,
the entire nation of America just heard you getting ice.
Hey, is the shrimp scampi coming out next?
Hey, is the shrimp scampi coming out next? Table 5's waiting on it. Sounds like a restaurant in here.
If you were to judge this press conference based on body language alone right now, I mean, you would say the Eagles are going to go 0-17 next year. We've got nerdy Nick Sirianni not even looking at the people asking the question, and GM Howie Roseman like, why the hell am I here when I could be home with my feet up?
So are they sticking with Jalen Hurts?
Well, that's what we're going to get into. So let's just go ahead. We'll kick it off here. We'll listen, and I will jump in when I think I hear something that means something else. And you boys can correct me if I'm wrong, or also jump in when you think you hear something.
that does for you flexibility-wise?
So initially, they're going to be talking about the
we
trade with New
were kind
Orleans. They traded the 16th pick to New Orleans this year.
What that does for you flexibility-wise.
Yeah, I think we were kind of looking at this year and next year and the amount of picks that we had in this year's draft, and trying to kind of balance it a little bit for a variety of factors. When you look at having first-round picks in the fifth-year option, having that many guys on a fifth-year option, also kind of balancing just scouting all the players in this draft and next year's draft, and having more options and more flexibility.
All right, stopping it right there. So now he says,
I heard something.
Yeah, what'd you hear?
This guy says I'm more than Jerry Jones.
Right there, he said, making sure we have picks this year, but also for next year. So he is talking about, in my opinion, and in many Eagles fans' opinion, making sure that we used the extra ammo we had from this year to move up next year in the draft if necessary and take either Bryce Young from Alabama or CJ Stroud from Ohio State, two quarterback prospects who are at this point projected both to be better than any quarterback in this draft. So,
And the Ohio State quarterback will flop.
Maybe.
Dude.
Easy now.
Or they get bounced off a contract.
And the Alabama quarterback will flop. Mark my word.
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
God damn.
Forgive me.
Nate, you make me blush. So yeah, my Philly fan ears are tuned to hear that. That says to me that Jalen Hurts' job is safe for this year, but we are more than willing to look at our options next year and move up if need be for CJ Stroud or Bryce Young.
NFL, I have news for you. All teams, listen closely. If you get a quarterback from Alabama or Ohio State, they will flop in 5 years. They will be a bust.
Here's my issue with this, the whole Jalen Hurts thing. Is I feel like they're not putting him in the best situation to be successful. Because when they played Tampa, what was it? I think they played Tampa in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay didn't have their secondary. Period.
Yeah.
They targeted. What's that kid's name? What's his name? What's the receiver's name?
Smith. Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae Smith. They targeted him all of like 4 times. If I'm going into a game and I know for a fact that this team doesn't have their secondary, a healthy secondary, I am burning your ass the entire game.
Well, that's part of why, a lot of people say maybe it's time, maybe they don't have all the confidence in the world in Jalen because their game plan clearly shifted toward the end of the season to a very run-oriented game plan. They ran the ball more than any other team. They passed the ball less than any other team toward the end of the season.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's Jalen. I don't know if it's a Jalen Hurts thing. But my biggest thing is that everybody wants that mobile quarterback.
Yep.
When honestly, my prototypical quarterback right now is a Patrick Mahomes. He's not very fast. He can get out if he needs to, but his thing is throw the ball. That's his first thought. Throw the ball. He's mobile, but he's not a Deshaun Watson. He's not a Lamar Jackson. He's not a guy like Jalen Hurts. He's a guy that if he needs to run, he will. But at the end of the day, his eyes are always downfield, and he's looking for that open man. And because obviously there was a stint where mobile quarterbacks was the cool thing to do.
Right.
Now that it's just defenses evolve as the quarterback position evolves. You got to remember, like when you had Peyton Manning in the league, you had to have a fucking brain surgeon at your middle linebacker position.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams didn't have that.
Right.
But now it's mobile. Okay, so all right, we need faster linebackers. We need guys who can run sideline to sideline and chase these damn quarterbacks. So now when you get this situation, now I feel like the prototypical quarterback is going to be guys like Aaron Rodgers, They're not very fast, but they can get out when they need to. People like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, those type of quarterbacks. Quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, those guys are going to, at some point, they're going to become that average to below average quarterback.
Once their legs give out, yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's what's going to happen. So either you're going to have to learn how to throw the ball, or that's why I really like Trey Lance. Trey Lance is going to have he's going to be successful with Kyle Shanahan. He's going to be successful. The issue is you got to give him somebody to throw the ball to. Brandon Ayuk, he's only going to get you so far. You're going to have to get you a guy. Either you're going to have to make Deebo understand like you're a receiver. But I think that was all Kyle Shanahan thing, the whole receiver, running back thing. And I wouldn't agree to it. But I feel like it happened because Kyle Shanahan understood that Deebo Samuel he's not just a receiver. He can't be just a receiver because there's no place for him. He's a slot at best. We got enough slot receivers. We need a number one, and he's not that guy.
Well, not even just that, but like you said, I mean, with Cordero, like just using him to the best of his abilities, optimizing his talent, you know.
And that's what it is, and that's what the Eagles. I'm telling you, like I have a feel because TJ says this a lot, and there's a lot of things I don't listen to TJ about, but the mobile quarterback dies at some point. It comes around. It's a cycle with mobile quarterbacks. It's a cycle. I mean, you look what Michael Vick did, and then people figured that out. And then that cycle died for a little bit. Then you got the pocket passers, and then it came back around to the mobile quarterbacks. And now I think it's going to guys like Aaron Rodgers, guys like Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance. Those guys are going to be successful because now not only can he run, he can actually throw the ball. Because we all know Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball.
I want to say this, and I want to be clear. When I say a mobile quarterback won't last in the NFL, I am not saying that they are not exciting to watch. I am not saying that people are not going to pay to see them. You have guys that have come into the league, RG3, I'm looking at you, who are fun. They're exciting to watch. And then what happens? They run, they get hit, they tear an ACL, they break their leg, something awful happens that could possibly end their career or at least their season. And then they're put on the back burner, and then they have to fight for their spot. And guess what? You lose it. And now where's RG3?
He's doing SEC football games.
Exactly.
Last time I checked.
Look, I jumped on the Lamar Jackson wagon the first season he was in the league, and it didn't take me long. I was like, the first time he really gets a monstrous hit or something, awful happens, God forbid. He's going to tear his ACL. He's going to break a leg. Something's going to happen, and he's going to take a back seat to the next guy in line. These mobile quarterbacks do not last. Yes, they're fun to watch. Yes, they're exciting. Yes, they'll even put up some godly numbers in the first 1 or 2 seasons they're here. But I guarantee you, in 3 to 5 years, they fade away because of injury or because of age.
Yeah, you have to be able to. You have to bring the best of both worlds. You have to be able to pick up a first down with your legs, and you also have to be a cerebral assassin to be the best quarterback in the league, like a Patrick Mahomes. Even a Brady is very good at maneuvering the pocket and getting out of trouble within the pocket.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's play a little bit more of this here.
At all positions, kind of giving a head start and looking at next year's draft too, and seeing that it's strong as well as this year's draft. So we thought it made sense, obviously from New Orleans standpoint. We look back, there hadn't been really a team that had moved back that far for a first round pick. So it made sense for them too. And hopefully a win-win situation.
How much specifically did the quarterback position and being able to have the flexibility there next year if you need it factor into the
He's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, we're excited about Jalen Hurts, and
we're excited about Jalen Hurts.
We're going to support Jalen and want him to have a great career in Philly. And this was about flexibility for our team and about making sure that we had resources to improve our team for not only this year's draft, but next year's draft going forward. We thought it made a lot of sense.
That was the biggest load of bullshit.
Right there.
He said, you motherfucker. Why would you do this?
we're excited about Jalen. Never once said anything like, it's definitely his team moving forward, yada yada yada. Like he said all the right things. Like he didn't say anything that would
He said
say we're not
everything.
confident.
He did everything except threw Jalen Hurts under the bus.
Yep.
His facial expression said it all when he was asked that question.
Oh yeah.
Defensive back, wide receiver positions you didn't really address too much in free agency. How important do those picks become? Heading into the draft, is there more of a priority on those positions than maybe others?
Well, you can't really predict what other teams are going to do, and you can't be in a situation where you have to do something. Certainly when you look at some of the mistakes that I've made personally, it's because you try to force something. So you can only do what the board allows you to do, and there's obviously a lot of time between now and the time the first game starts for us to continue to address the needs.
So I think what he meant there when he said mistakes are made when you try to force something may have been a Jalen Reagor reference.
Oh, it was definitely a Jalen Reagor reference. It was 100%. Yeah. I saw that shit coming out. That was a Jalen Reagor reference because he missed on DK Metcalf for Jalen Reagor. He missed on – didn't he miss on Justin Jefferson too at one point?
That's who he missed on, yeah. The previous year, the Eagles could have drafted DK and didn't, along with many other teams. But, yeah, everyone thought that the Eagles were going to draft Justin Jefferson so much so that the camera panned to Justin Jefferson during the Eagles pick, and they didn't take him.
They took Jalen Reagor.
He's just sitting there on his phone, and nothing happened.
To this team, and we'll go into the draft, and we'll follow the board, and we've had a lot of discussions, a lot of good discussions about the players in this draft, and we just got to make sure we take the best players and not look at the draft as just a short-term fix.
How are you going into this draft with Brandon Brown with the Giants? He was.
That's a boring question. It's just about a coach that used to be with the Eagles. It's not now.
How did Brandon Brown?
Where he.
And is that part of the process, the scouting, and it's not that Seesaw? Happy for them and their families.
At least apparent to us, right? But that being said, typically you go into the draft at least having those needs covered. Are you comfortable with Anthony Harris and Marcus Epps being your guys right now going into that draft?
Well, I think we have other defense backs there too. We drafted Kayvon Wallace. We got two guys.
So not a big deal there. But I think that was kind of like, yeah, we have those guys, but we have other defensive backs too. Like it's not just those guys. I think initially he didn't say, "Oh, we're excited about Marcus Epps," like he said, "We're excited about Jalen Hurts." So.
He didn't say that.
Here's where I have the problem with the NFL. And Dylan, I'm not jumping on your team. I'm not trying to talk any trash. I'm not trying to be cute or funny here. I'm being serious.
By all means.
I have problems with owners, with coaches. Like the Eagles, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Houston Texans, take your pick. These guys, they'll come into the next season being optimistic and hopeful. And I get it. They have to be, right? You have to believe in a product that you're selling because ultimately when you're a coach or you're a GM, you're selling a product to the media, to your fans. These guys got beat by the Cowboys like 50-something points. How many games did y'all win? Like what, 7?
9.
Okay. What was it? The Lions win like 2 games, and then they're coming in all season. Oh yeah, we have a lot of belief in our system. For what kind of momentum did you have last year?
None.
Almost none. Shut up. It's a building year. Know that and shut up.
and that for me personally, that's kind of one of the issues that I have, like with sports in general, is. I'm gonna get if I was an NFL player or NBA player, and we just got our fucking asses railed, I'm giving you a soundbite. I'm going to give you a soundbite. If you ask me a dumb fucking question, well, how did you? Fuck that. We got our asses whipped today. Period. I'm not gonna sit here and give you some political answer and be like, well, we could have. No, I don't. Honestly, you want the truth? We got our asses whipped, okay? You saw the score. We didn't do shit. We didn't do shit on either side of the ball. Nobody came to play. I think there were some people that were probably still half asleep, okay? We got our asses whipped, period.
Guys, this isn't after the Tampa Bay game. This is like the other day.
Well, I get it. But it's just, for me, it's just like, it's more of like, when these coaches they give like fuck that. I'm gonna tell you how it is. Like, don't ask me. And a lot of times they get caught like right after the game. Like, there's no way you're in your mind. You're like, okay, I gotta say this, and this. I'm going to tell you exactly. I'm gonna give you a Richard Sherman post game conference. That's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you some raw ass emotions, especially if we just got our asses beat. Me
Talk
personally,
about me.
like, tell the truth. Like, be honest. Like, and I get it. It's a thing where you want your guys to have that more. You want them to have that confidence going into next season. Like, Jalen Hurts ain't stupid.
Right.
90% of the players on that Eagles team, they're not stupid. Shit. Didn't y'all just let what's his name, Fletcher Cox go and then re-sign him?
Yeah.
So if Fletcher can go and this man been here forever, they what do you think they're gonna do to me? I'm not stupid. Like, just be real with me.
I want to quote a coach here, and forgive me if I get the name wrong. I might be getting the name wrong, but I believe it was Bill Parcells who said that your record tells you exactly who you are.
It does. 100%.
If you're a 1-17 team, you're a 1-17 team. If you're a 10-7 team, you're a 10-7 team. If you're a 17-0 team, you're a 17-0 team. So quit with this trying to give fans false hope going into the next year. Last year we didn't have the best season. We're going to learn from our mistakes and we're going to move forward.
Okay, except that I know we're not specifically talking about the Eagles here because they went 9-8 and made the playoffs. But yes, other teams who didn't do that. Yes, I agree.
But it's just like that's just for me. Like, when I see sports and I watch post game conferences, like, I want real LeBron. I want the real LeBron. I want that. Tell me how you really feel about this fucking season. Don't be like, well, yeah, we had this. No, we fucking trash. Okay? We got guys who can't stay healthy. We got guys who can't fucking shoot.
We got white women in the crowds that are always yelling stuff at me.
We have a front office who are just fucking retarded. Like,
why are we talking about LeBron on a football podcast?
It's
mostly football.
It's for me. It's just more of like,
look, I'm just here so I don't get fined again.
I want honesty. That's what I want. I want honesty from these coaches. I want honesty from these players. Like, be real. Like, we have some fixing to do. Like, our secondary, your secondary gave up a shit ton of points last year, and you know it. Let's be real. We got some work we have to do. We got some guys that we feel confident with, but at the same time, we got a lot of work we got to do.
Hey, well,
let's be real.
Like
they
how
know they got their asses burned last year.
Yeah, like how we just said. You may have mentioned the two starters, but we have other guys too.
Yeah.
We brought Andre in here from Indy. We've got Jared Maiden.
Two terrible players. Two terrible players.
Before the draft.
The fact that he bothered to bring those guys up shows me we're screwed at safety.
That's why we brought Anthony back. That's
Is there an echo
in the first place? That's why we drafted Kayvon. Marcus is a guy who played a lot of football for us last year. We're excited about him too. And so, I don't know that necessarily we perceive it the same way maybe that you described.
Somebody's got an echo.
Marcus is a guy who's played a lot of football. Best compliment you could ever get.
Which means is he's a journeyman and he's better than what we have.
Marcus has played a lot of football. You know who else has played a lot of football? Frank Gore.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll sign him too. Look at that face.
That just
that's to the loss of Ian and Brandon. You've talked about how this offseason you have a better sense of the coaching staff and what they want in terms of players. Is it fair to say that with those guys gone, the coaching staff, their voice carries a little bit more weight?
I want to involve Nick here a little bit. What side of the football do you, as the head coach, think the team needs to improve more in the draft?
The left side.
Well, you're always
honest.
I mean, this is a gotcha question for a second-year head coach here.
Be fucking honest. This is where you say, all right, we can improve here. We can improve. It's not calling guys out. It's just saying we have to do better at these situations. You know for a fact your secondary was burnt toast all year last year.
Well,
you know that.
Let's see if you like his answer here.
To make your team better as good as you possibly can, and So you're looking at all accounts. And then, so I don't think it's fair for me to say, oh, well, okay, offense is more important than defense or defense is more important than offense. We're just looking, obviously, to get our team better. And how do you do that? You get that with good players.
That's not answering the question.
Yeah,
that is exactly
answer the question.
You did not answer the question at all. You didn't answer the question.
This is a White House press briefing right now. We got follow-up questions.
That was a politician's answer. He went around the question and didn't answer that bitch directly. Listen, simple question, okay? What side of the ball can you improve on? Easy, both sides. Both sides had their faults. The secondary didn't play the greatest. Gave up a lot of points. Our offense our receivers could have been better. Our quarterback could have been better. Something other than running around. Just answer the question.
Okay, so honestly though, you're him in this situation. Are you going to single any position group out?
I'm not going to single any single position. What I would say is, if you watched last year, there was there's improvements that can be made on both sides of the ball. Our secondary didn't play great last year. Our quarterback play, our receivers. This is a part of the game. Like, as a player, you didn't do shit last year. You know that. So there's no reason to
say the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. You made the playoffs. But what happened when you got to the playoffs?
They got beat by the GOAT.
You gave up. You lost to a bad defense. Period. That defense was awful. And then the fucked up thing is, one of their best linebackers went out the first half, and that was an opportunity for them to take over the game. And I'm not going to just talk about the Eagles. It's just in general. If your secondary was bad, say it. We all saw it. The whole world knows it. There's numbers.
Would you have how would you have answered that question?
Our team sucks and we need to do better.
Let's go back to the beginning here. We're gonna ask the question,
the football,
and then we're gonna get TJ's response.
I want to involve Nick here a little bit. What side of the football do you, as the head coach, think the team needs to improve more in the draft?
So you're the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
I quit already. Is Jerry Jones still the owner?
Yes.
Then I fucking quit.
He says, I quit until we get new
information you get.
If I'm a coach and I get asked that question,
and you know how your team played last year.
I know how my team played last year. And again, I'm not saying this because it was the Cowboys. I'm saying this because they gave up 50 points. I'm getting a better defense.
Our defense didn't play well last year. We gave up a lot of points. And I'm very cold to say this.
I am a defensive guy, always have been, always will be. I believe in two things: defense and run the damn football. So I'm going to improve on our line of scrimmage, and I'm going to improve on our defense until I can see that we're not giving up 50 freaking points in a game.
You would try to point to a specific weakness and say that's where we need to improve.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
If our offense only scored 14 points a game, then I'm going to tell you we need to improve on our offense. Now, to answer that reporter's question, just to be a smartass in that exact scenario, and he says, what side of the football? I'm going to tell him the left side, just to fuck with him.
And the thing is, it's not really called. I mean, it's not like you're like, oh, well, Fletcher Cox did this, or Jalen Hurts did this, Devontae Smith didn't do this. You're not calling guys out. You're just saying, like, there's improvements that could be made. Like, we can make improvements on the offensive line. We can make improvements here. We can make improvements there. Because you have the fucked up thing is you have these exact conversations in those film rooms. Yeah. You have these conversations. So they know this already.
But I think the players appreciate you keeping it in-house though, and not putting them out all on the papers and all that. Basically keeping your wife's name out of their mouth.
I don't give a damn.
It's not in-house. It's on every fucking sports website. You can see what they did last year. It's on tape.
I know we're comparing apples to oranges here, and I know it's not the same thing, so don't get any of this construed. I coached Pee Wee football for 6 years.
Nope.
We never want if we gave up 50 points in one game for the rest of the season, I don't care if we win the freaking Super Bowl. For the rest of the season, my focus is going to be on our defense because I know we gave up 50 freaking points to a team. We need to improve. I'm not worried about our offense at that point. I'm worried about our defense. Now, if our offense goes scoreless for 2 or 3 games, okay, we have a lot of work to do and we need to improve on both sides of the football.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple. It's just a lot of these coaches and they don't want to ostracize these players. Like, you know what? They're adults at this point. All right, they're adults, and they understand the situation.
See,
If we
here's the problem. You say ostracize these players. They're grown ass men and they're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game.
exactly,
If you have a problem because I called you out because our defense is trash or our offense is trash, our secondary is trash, our backfield is trash, our quarterback is trash, and you have a problem with that, yes, I'm your coach. I will stand up for you, but I'm also going to call you out when you screw up.
right. And they're not calling anybody out directly. They're just saying, hey, we got to make improvements here. We got to make improvements there. We got to make improvements at the linebacker position, at the safety position. We have to. That's the whole reason of fucking free agency in the draft is to make improvements.
To a certain extent, yes, you guys are right. Like, everyone knows the deal, but like, even if you like forget football for a second and just think about a factory, you own a factory. If there's an issue with something in the factory, you're not just going to call everyone to the floor of the factory and be like, you know who's fucking up? This line over here. No, you're gonna grab the person from that line and have a private meeting with that person, right?
In a sense, yeah, but this is more of a like it was a generalized question. He said, "What's the okay? Cool. Let's answer that question. All right. If you really sit and think about it, what do we need to fix? I think on the defensive side of the ball, I think we need to do. I think there's some improvements that can be made, and also there's some improvements that can be made on the offensive side because there were some games where we didn't score enough points or we didn't execute properly. You can say those things and then keep it because that's a press conference there. That's what you would say after the end of a game. Well, we didn't do well on the defensive side of the ball. You can say those things. It's all about wording it.
I'm even going to pick on A&M for a minute. I can't tell you the year it happened, but it was back when A&M was still in the Big 12. We gave up 77 points to Oklahoma one year. It was the most points allowed for any A&M defense in the school's history. The following year, when A&M played Oklahoma, they did still get their butts beat, but it was like, I think the score was 28-14. So that tells you they improved on the defensive side of the ball. And again, that's where, that's just one game. And again, if we're giving up 50 points in a game, that's a problem, especially in the freaking NFL. How often do you see 50 points being given up? I don't give a damn if it's Tom Brady on the other end. I don't give a damn if it's
All right,
a lot last year.
I feel like we're coming back to this one point, this one single 50-point thing, a little bit too much. I think you're trying to rub salt in the wound here. I think I know your angle.
No, I told you in the beginning. I'm not doing this to be funny. I'm not doing this because I'm doing it because it was 50 freaking points. And again, that's why I said A&M. I mean, you want to pick on a team? Fine, pick on A&M for a little bit. They give up 77 points to Oklahoma. The next year, they only give up 20 something.
I think the Colts put up 50 on someone this season. I think you actually see you see a lot now that, and I think a lot of it has to do with the rules. Is you're starting to see a lot more blowouts, like 40 and 50-point games more than you did back then. And I feel like it's a lot of the rules that's for against the defense that's causing these issues. Now, it doesn't help when your secondary isn't healthy or your secondary is healthy, but they can't run with anybody. So it makes a big difference. So, like my team, for instance, we have one good corner. And the fucked up thing is nobody really talks about this kid because he is the best. He was the best corner in the league last year. He had the best QBR against him. Like he gave up. I think he gave up all year. I think he gave up.
Richard Sherman?
No, not Richard Sherman.
Richard Simmons?
AJ Terrell. He gave up.
Oh, Terrell. Okay.
I think 40. I think 40 yards a game. I think he
Oh,
gave
yeah.
up. I think he gave up one touchdown last year, and that was honestly really it.
Is it Terrell or Tyrone?
Terrell.
Okay.
So it's for me personally to answer the reporter's question. You instead of dancing around it, just answer the question. Just be real. Just be honest.
See, this is one I don't mind a diplomatic answer at all. I think that's the way to go. I like it.
So
Is it
for
be-
us, with Landon, the timing of that was a little different than the timing with Sydney, and it allowed you to see more of.
Oh,
the
he's talking
progress
about
of where it
drafting
was,
players with an injury
based on the
history here.
testing. Obviously, two different positions, different injuries,
That's
and
a
so you
no-go.
take that all into account when you're looking at it, and then the value has to be right. You know, the value of the player and how we kind of feel the player fits for us, and what kind of player we think that player was pre-injury, how we base on our performance and our medical staff, who we have a lot of trust in, how they project that player to come back. And, you know, the draft's guesswork as it is, you're talking about taking guys, changing their environment, moving them from college to the NFL, putting money in their pocket, giving them more free time, changing schemes. And now you have another variable. So you got to balance that as well.
No.
You
You don't draft. You don't. I wouldn't waste a draft pick on a guy with injury prone. I don't care how good he was or how good he is. If he consistently had injuries, I'm not drafting him. I'll wait and see. And if I miss out on him, I miss out on him. But I'm not. Why would you draft someone in the first round or second round, or hell, even the third round, and this guy has consistent injuries? Because I feel like first, second, and third, you're expected to play in those rounds. If you get drafted at first, second, or third, you're pretty much expected to play.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
I think the player that comes to mind, like one of the best examples for me of a guy who was injured, I think this is right anyway. I injured quite a bit in college, or at least a bad one, and then ended up being pretty durable in the pros, is Frank Gore.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's one for me.
And then again, also it also is the workload.
Yeah,
you know, it's really the workload.
Yeah,
but
that's,
also,
you know, basically it's the rest of the thing. Sirianni has a moment where he talks about how, listen, I'm the head coach, but I come from more of the offensive side of things and really more of the skill set side of things. So when you guys talked about honesty, that was something that I liked him saying. Like, he didn't just say, well, I'm the head coach, so I have to oversee everything. No, he was like,
so basically he said that I only know this.
Yeah, he's like, I know what I know, and I leave the stuff to the other guys. So I did appreciate that.
That's honest. That's him saying, hey, I don't know both sides of the ball. I know what my specialty is, and I'm okay with that.
Real quick, I got a funny dad joke. I just saw this on Facebook.
There we go.
Sonic in Mobile, Alabama. The sign reads, chicken loses job. Chicken is broke. Chicken strips, $3.79.
Well, guys, there it is. I mean, you heard it there. Thank you, TJ, for bringing up that dad joke. I don't think there's a better way to bring it home than something like that. Throughout this Eagles press conference, you know, I did like the references to quarterback play. I do think Howie's definitely looking at two quarterbacks next year between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I don't think that Jalen Reagor is his favorite person in the world after what I heard here. There is a moment where Howie Roseman goes, yeah, well, we got Devontae Smith, we got Dallas Goedert, we got some weapons, and leave the name out.
Looking at our quarterback this year.
Yeah, we're looking at a quarterback this year. So
I don't feel like that's good. We'll talk about that on Monday, though. We'll talk about the draft prospects on Monday.
That's right. For all the fans out there, this is mostly football. I figured you guys could be known as the MFers. So that's how we're going to do it.
Points. 50 points. 5-0.
This is mostly football. Thank you to all the MFers out there. Please tune in to Mostly Football this coming Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Central. And also don't forget on that Tuesday night to tune in to Just Be a Dad podcast, same time, same place. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Any final thoughts to bring this home?
50
This
points.
was fun. This was fun.
50 points.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, MFers. We'll see you next time.